Do you think Megan Fox is sexy? He asked, swirling the last of his drink. Yeah, I said without thinking. I think Megan Fox is sexy. He tilted his head. What? What? I repeated a little too fast. I could feel the tension shift. I'm just saying. She's got that, confidence. He stared at me for a second longer than I could handle, then looked away, laughing into his bottle. Okay, all right, what about? His voice trailed, like he was deciding whether to pull the pin from a grenade. What about me? I blinked. What about you? He leaned in. Close. Too close. I'm sexy. My heart stuttered. The question shouldn't have hit as hard as it did. But it did. Yeah, dude, I said, trying to keep it casual. So sexy. He didn't laugh. He didn't look away. He leaned in further. His face was inches from mine now. I could smell his cologne, woodsy clean. My chest locked up. He whispered, Then why do you always look at me like you're scared of what might happen? And then he kissed me. His lips brushed mine, gentle, testing. But before it could go any further, something inside me snapped. I shoved him back. Hard. He stumbled, eyes wide, confusion written across his face. What the hell? He said. It had been exactly 1 year since that night with Drew. 1 year since I shoved him away, scolded at him, and watched the look in his eyes shift from confusion to pain to something worse. I hadn't seen him since. He transferred schools the next semester, and just like that, he vanished. But I didn't vanish. I went on to become everything I thought I was supposed to be. Prom king, class president, state champion wrestler, the poster boy of whatever straight masculinity was supposed to look like. And when I started college that fall, I kept it going. Reinvented myself as someone untouchable, charming, athletic, dateable. The guy every girl wanted, and every guy either envied or wanted to be friends with. I wore the mask so, well, I forgot it was even a mask. People always asked me why I didn't have a steady girlfriend. I just smiled and said, I'm waiting for the right one. It kept the questions at bay. For a while. Then came Claire. Claire and I had a history. We dated briefly in high school. She was a small-town girl, bright-eyed, bookish, always 2 steps behind the trend, but 5 steps ahead in heart. We had chemistry back then, or at least enough of it to make everyone believe the act. When college started, we both realized something. We needed each other again. I needed a girlfriend. She needed attention. Neither of us said it out loud, but we both knew what we were doing. We played the roles perfectly. I'd wrap my arm around her at parties. She'd laugh at my jokes, lean in my chest. We were the picture of young, passionate love. People admired us, envied us. But behind closed doors, we didn't kiss. We didn't even sleep in the same bed. We talked, really talked. And one night, I told her the truth. I'm not straight. I whispered into the darkness of her dorm room. She didn't flinch, didn't mock me, didn't pity me. Instead, she just said, I know. We lay there in silence for a long time, her hand resting on mine, until she said something I'll never forget. You don't have to keep doing this alone. Claire became my shield, my safe space. The one person in the world I could be completely honest with. We weren't in love, but we loved each other in the way survivors do. 2 people clinging to a life raft, desperate not to drown. We kept the act going. For months. For appearances. But eventually, it became unbearable. Claire could see it in my face, the pressure, the sadness. She knew I was spiraling. You need to come out, she told me one day. I can't, I said. People will hate me. Then let them, she said. But at least you'll be free. I didn't sleep that night, or the night after. I replayed every scenario in my head. What if I lost my scholarship? What if the frat kicked me out? What if everyone abandoned me? The night of prom was supposed to be perfect. The last big event before graduation. The final chance to leave an impression that would be remembered forever. And for someone like me, who had spent years sculpting an image of effortless masculinity, charm, and popularity that mattered more than I cared to admit. Everything was staged. My tux, my date, Claire. We were the golden couple, the one everyone rooted for, the ones people assumed would be crowned prom king and queen. She looked stunning, of course. Always did. Hair curled just enough to look effortless, her dress hugging in all the right places. and she smiled like none of this was fake. Like we hadn't agreed to this months ago, when we both realized we needed each other. But lies were thin, especially when one of us wants something real. The night started smoothly. We laughed, danced, took pictures with our friends. We played our roles flawlessly. I felt like I was performing on stage, and the applause was the way people looked at us. Envy, admiration, curiosity. I drank it all in. But Claire was quiet. Too quiet. And then she started drinking. Not heavily. Just enough that her words got a little looser. Her laugh a little louder. And when she disappeared for a bit, I didn't think much of it. Until she came back with smeared lipstick and eyes full of guilt. "Where were you?" I asked casually, trying not to sound like I cared too much. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Then opened it again. I made a mistake. My stomach dropped. What kind of mistake? She couldn't look at me. That told me everything. "Who?" I asked, my voice suddenly sharper. She winced. I didn't know he was taken. "I swear." "Who?" I pressed. "Matt." Silence. "Matt. My sister's boyfriend." "Are you serious?" I hissed, stepping back. Claire grabbed my arm. I didn't plan it. It just happened. We were both drunk, and I felt so stupid and tired of pretending. And he said something kind, and I pulled away from her. People were watching now. We were making a scene. The golden couple unraveling under disco lights. "I trusted you," I muttered. "Don't talk to me about trust," she snapped, her voice rising. "I've been your cover for 2 years. You parade me around, let everyone believe you're some kind of ladies' man, when the truth is, shut up," I said through clenched teeth. "Why? Because you don't want them to know?" She laughed bitterly. "Well, guess what? Maybe I don't care anymore. Maybe I'm tired of being your lie." She stepped forward. Too close. Her voice low, but not low enough. "You're gay, Tyler, and everyone deserves to know." The music didn't stop, but it might as well have. I could feel eyes turning. I could feel the heat in my face, the pounding in my chest, the instant cold sweat. I walked out. No explanations. No bullies. Outside, the air was cold. It didn't help. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister. "Is it true?" Then another from someone I barely talked to. "You could have just said something." The internet doesn't wait for context. By the time I got home, someone had already posted about it. A few pictures. A few guesses. And the comments came fast and cruel. Claire didn't message me. She didn't need to. She'd already said enough. And just like that, the image I'd built, the perfect version of Tyler everyone believed in, gone. Now it was just me. No more pretending. I don't remember much about the ride home. I remember silence. The kind that doesn't just sit between two people. It burrows inside your chest and makes a home there. Claire didn't say a word. Neither did I. Her makeup was smeared, and my fists were clenched so tight my knuckles cracked. My heart shattered. When I got to my house, my mom was already waiting at the door. Her face was pale. My dad stood behind her, arms folded. It wasn't a welcoming committee. It was a trial. "Tyler," she said, "we need to talk." I could feel it before she said anything else. Someone had called them. Maybe Claire. Maybe someone from school. Either way, the whispers had become roars, and there was no running anymore. "Is it true?" she asked, voice trembling. "Are you gay?" And just like that, everything stopped. The house, the street, the world. "Yes," I said, because I couldn't lie anymore. I was tired. I was bleeding inside, and hiding it wasn't healing anything. My father turned away. My mom didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just looked at me like she didn't recognize the boy standing in front of her. "We raised you better," she whispered. Then she walked upstairs. My father followed. At school it was worse. I wasn't invisible anymore. I was the joke. Locker graffiti. Whispers. People who used to say hi looked through me now, like I didn't exist, or worse, like I was something dirty. Someone even carved "freak" into the back of my locker. I stopped going to football practices. The coach said it was okay to take time, but I could see it in his eyes. He was relieved. One less scandal to manage. As for Claire, she tried to talk to me. Apologized. Said she didn't mean to say it. That she was drunk, angry, confused. I didn't care. "You didn't just out me," I told her. "You blew up everything." She cried. I didn't. I didn't have tears left. Then there was Noah. A friend of me, he was quiet. New. Sat 2 seats behind me in lit class. After everything happened, he started sitting next to me during lunch. Didn't say much. Just sat there. A calm presence in a storm I couldn't control. One day I asked him why. He shrugged. You look like someone who could use a human. He never pried, never asked what happened. But he showed up. Every day. Lunch. Study hall. Walks home. He didn't fix me, but he helped me breathe. Noah played guitar. Wrote terrible poetry. Made dumb jokes that only I laughed at. And, somehow, he made me feel like being me wasn't a burden. Then came the chance to hit back. It was senior awards night. Everyone was there, parents, teachers, students, including Claire and her new boyfriend, including my former teammates who ghosted me. I was called on stage for a leadership award. Irony. As I stood there with the mic, heart pounding, I looked at them all, and I told the truth. I spent a year pretending to be someone I wasn't, I said. All for approval, attention, applause. Elite. I hurt people. I let people hurt me. The auditorium fell silent. I'm not perfect. I made mistakes, but I won't apologize for who I am. I locked eyes with Claire. With everything taken from me, I found the only thing worth keeping, myself. And I walked off. The applause didn't matter. The gasps didn't matter. What mattered was the weight I left behind on that stage. I left town 3 months later. Got into a college 4 states away. A clean slate. No one knew my past. No one cared. I joined the LGBTQ+ student group. Started dating, slowly, carefully. Noah and I stayed in touch. He helped me move in, then flew home. We still talk sometimes. He doesn't ask how I'm doing. He just listens. As for Cole, he messaged me once. A long, messy apology. He said he hated himself for what he did, that he never forgave himself, that he lost more than a friend. He lost his own sense of worth. I never replied, but I saved the message. I'm not whole, not yet, but I'm building something. Something honest. Something mine. And for the first time in a long time, I don't feel like I'm hiding. I feel free. Looking back, it's easy to say everything happens for a reason. But when you're standing in the middle of it, your identity dragged into the spotlight, your friendship shattered, your family cold and distant, it doesn't feel like a reason. It feels like survival, like standing on a cliff with nothing left to lose. I never imagined the person who outed me would be my own best friend. I never imagined the person who would help put me back together was a quiet guy with a guitar and awkward humor. And I never thought the version of me I spent years performing, the straight, confident, perfect image, would finally die so I could live. But that's exactly what had to happen. I had to lose everything fake to find something real. We all wear masks, some to survive, some to please others. But masks aren't meant to be permanent. At some point, you have to rip them off and see what's underneath. It's scary. It's raw. But it's the only way you'll ever really feel whole. Coming out isn't about rainbows or parades. Sometimes it's about losing friends, being betrayed, starting over. But it's also about freedom, growth, becoming the version of yourself that doesn't flinch in the mirror anymore. If you're hiding, know this. Your truth is not a burden. You're not too much. And the people who really love you, they won't walk away when things get uncomfortable. They'll lean in. And if you betrayed someone's trust, don't waste time with pride. Own your mistake. Apologize. You may not get forgiveness, but you'll start becoming someone who deserves it. One evening, as I sat in the living room, my sister, Emily, stormed in, her eyes blazing with fury. "Tyler," she snapped, "we need to talk." I looked up startled. "What's wrong?" "Claire," she spat the name like venom. "She had the audacity to sleep with my boyfriend and then out you in front of everyone. Who does she think she is?" I was taken aback. "Wait, you knew about that?" "Of course I did," she replied. "Everyone's talking about it. But that's not the point. The point is, she betrayed both of us." I sighed, the weight of the situation pressing down on me. "I don't know what to do." Emily softened, placing a hand on my shoulder. "We'll figure it out together. But you need to talk to Mom and Dad." That night, I mustered the courage to sit down with my parents. The atmosphere was tense, the air thick with unspoken words. "Mom, Dad," I began, "I know the past few days have been difficult." My mother looked at me, her eyes filled with a mix of sadness and concern. Tyler, we were just surprised. We had no idea. My father nodded. It's not that we don't love you. We do. It's just, we had different expectations. I felt a pang of guilt. I'm still the same person. I just didn't know how to tell you. My mother reached out, taking my hand. We may have been disappointed, but not in you. In ourselves, for not seeing it sooner. We want you to be happy. A sense of relief washed over me. Thank you. I didn't know what I was expecting when I agreed to meet Claire. An apology? An explanation? Some kind of remorse that might make the prom night sting a little less? But when I saw her sitting there, head bowed, hands twisted in her lap like she was holding herself together, I realized this wasn't going to be simple. I'm not here to make excuses, Claire began, her voice hoarse like she'd been crying all night. But I can't let you think I betrayed you just to hurt you. I said nothing. I didn't trust myself to speak without shattering whatever fragile calm was between us. Claire exhaled shakily. Ty, do you know what it's like to pretend every single day that you're in a perfect relationship with someone who never really touches you? My stomach turned. You never wanted me the way a guy wants his girlfriend. I knew. I'm not stupid. But I ignored it because I needed it too. The illusion. The admiration. The perfection. She looked up then, her eyes red and raw. Remember our first kiss? At that party? In front of everyone? You were ice cold, like you were performing. I told myself you were just nervous, that it would get better, but it never did. I dropped my eyes. That memory hit like a shard of glass through my brain. And then she continued, I started to feel empty, unseen, unloved. I was lying every time someone asked about us. I felt disgusted with myself for being part of your lie, for keeping mine. Claire swallowed hard. And then he came. Josh, your sister's boyfriend. He flirted. I ignored it. He did it again. I still ignored it. Until one night, after your family dinner, I was a mess. My head was spinning with questions and guilt and everything I couldn't name. I was tired. Josh texted me. I thought just a drink, just a break from the pretending. She paused, her lips trembling. I slept with him, Tyler. Not because I loved him, not because I wanted to hurt anyone, but because I've been breaking for so long in a relationship that only looked real from the outside. I felt my chest tighten with something like grief and shame wrapped together. You never touched me, never made me feel like a girl someone could love, Claire said, her voice softer now, but no less cutting. Silence. It stretched between us like a canyon I wasn't sure how to cross. I closed my eyes. Maybe I should have been furious. Maybe I should have screamed at her for tearing apart what little piece I had left. But I didn't, because somewhere deep down I understood. And worse, I felt guilty. I didn't speak for a while. I just sat there, staring past Claire, into nothing. What do you say when the person who tore you open also held up a mirror to the truth you'd buried for years? I never meant to make you feel invisible, I said finally, my voice barely audible. But I guess I didn't know how to let anyone see the real me. I was so focused on being what everyone expected. I forgot how to be human. Claire didn't cry. I think she'd already run out of tears. But the look she gave me, soft, almost maternal, cut deeper than anger ever could. I know, she whispered. That's why I'm not asking you to forgive me. I need you to know that I didn't ruin us. We were never really us to begin with. That sentence hit like a gut punch. But it wasn't cruel, it was honest. And I needed honest. We sat in silence for a while. Not as enemies. Not even as exes. Just as two kids who'd lied to themselves so thoroughly they forgot what the truth looked like. Claire stood first. She didn't hug me. She didn't ask if we'd be okay. She just said, I hope you find someone who makes you feel real. Then she walked away. A week passed. Then two. I stayed off social media. Skipped a few classes. Ignored texts from people who either didn't care enough or cared too much. But slowly, I started breathing again. College gave me space. Space to fail, to ache, to hide if I needed to. And I needed to, at least for a while. But then someone started noticing me. Not the version of me I'd been selling since high school. Not the athlete. Not the ladies' man. Not the walking, talking lie. His name was Ethan. He was the kind of guy who wore cardigans unironically, carried a camera everywhere, and never once asked if I played sports. We were in the same intro to Phil class. I sat in the back. He sat by the window. One day after class, I saw him sketching something in his notebook. It wasn't notes. It was me, or at least a drawing of me, chin on hand, looking distant. He caught me staring and just shrugged like it was the most normal thing in the world. "You always look like you're somewhere else," he said. I didn't respond. He added, "But it's not sadness. It's like you're waiting to come back to life." I laughed, bitterly. "That's dramatic." Ethan smiled. "Maybe, but true. We didn't become best friends overnight, or lovers, or anything cliché like that. But he became something I hadn't had in a long time, a mirror that didn't distort me. He didn't flirt. He didn't press. He just saw me, and for a while that was enough. Back home, things were changing too. My sister stopped speaking to Claire. My parents, they didn't bring up Prom again, or Matt, or the fight. But I caught my mom watching me sometimes, her expression a mix of worry and something softer. Regret, maybe. One night, over winter break, I came home late. My dad was in the garage fixing something that didn't need fixing. "Grab a wrench," he said without looking up. I did. We worked in silence. Until he said, "You're different." I tensed. College changes people. That's not what I mean. I said nothing. He finally turned to face me. "You know, when I was your age, I thought being a man meant pretending nothing bothered you." He paused. "But it doesn't. Not really." I didn't know what shocked me more, what he said, or that he said it all. He handed me the wrench. "Whatever you are, Ty, I'd rather know the real you than live with a version of you that's killing you inside." My throat tightened, but I nodded. It wasn't a declaration of acceptance. Not yet, but it was something. By spring, Ethan and I had gotten closer. He still drew me sometimes, still made quiet observations about the world I hadn't noticed. One night, we were sitting on the dorm rooftop, legs dangling, city lights flickering like stars we could almost touch. "Do you ever think about just starting over?" I asked. Ethan tilted his head. "Not really. I think about starting honest." I turned to him. "How do you do that?" He looked at me for a long time, then said, "You stop apologizing for existing. You stop asking for permission to be real." I laughed. "Sounds easy. It's not, but it's worth it." And maybe for the first time, I believe that.